Namaskar and welcome to Aad Yog. Today is Krishna Janmashtami and I want to talk about the ways of Krishna. Ways of Krishna are unique, very, very unique. It's not possible for a normal human being to understand his ways. It doesn't matter you are from India or from somewhere else, even if you might be into the ISKCON practice. Supposedly, people think that ISKCON people are very close to Krishna's pathway, Krishna's way of spirituality, life, beyond life. Krishna is coming from a way where he respects everybody. Everybody. Even so-called enemies, we think enemies, people who try to destroy Krishna, he treated everybody with dignity. Even when he destroyed them, so-called destroyed is a wrong word to say, but when Krishna is doing something so-called for normal human being, we say he killed them or destroyed them. Krishna never did that. Krishna always gave them another path. For humans, we think he killed. No. He gave them moksha sometimes. Sometimes he gave them another possibility to get enlightened again in another lifetime. Being in touch with Krishna is a blessing. It has ever been a blessing with Krishna. Now we need to do a little self-analyzing thing to see what Krishna is saying here. We see Krishna in many forms, as a son, as a mischievous kid. We see him as a powerful man, we see him as a politician, we see him as a leader, we see him as a good friend. There are many ways to look at Krishna. It doesn't matter whichever way we choose to look at Krishna, we will find he is at his best. Best. Krishna's teachings are all about love. So is Buddha's, so is Jesus, so is Mahavir. But at a certain point when Mahavir says that he cannot teach females, all the women can't have his teachings. And one disciple asks, why is it so? He said there is no possible ways to give females that kind of possibility where they can get enlightened, but he can possibly give them the ways so that then in the next life they could take birth as a man. But Krishna accepts everybody. Even in Mahavir's case, we'll see all the men, his disciples, his students, had this feminine nature, has this feminine living in them. Because to love a guru, you have to have that feminine inside you who can love. Without love, you cannot attain. There is no possibility. No possibility. So when Buddha also doesn't accept female students. Disciples ask, what is our, the female disciples ask, what is their fault being a female? Wouldn't they get a chance to sit right next to an enlightened human being, or that kind of guru who can give them the very truth of life? What is their fault? What is their crime? And when Buddha accepts female students just because of one female student, then he explains why. Because 99% of the females are not attracted to the very element of God. They were attracted to Buddha. And so is with Jesus, so is with Krishna. So they decided, people who are interested to know the element of God, or the God, or moksha, who are true students, they are worth putting effort on. But at the end of the day, everybody, doesn't matter in the male body or the female body, you have to have that feminine awakened inside who can love. Only then there could be true knowledge. Only then you can possess. Only then you can have the gift of God. With Krishna, it's very unique. He doesn't say male or female. He says, come. You want it, you come. He doesn't judge. He doesn't see anybody if they are coming for the true knowledge, the true love, or they are just coming because they are getting so much of bliss, so much of love, so much of serenity just by sitting right next to Krishna, or just by looking at Krishna, or just by talking to him. Krishna even dances with these females. Now people ask this question sometimes whenever we have these conversations. What about sex? Does Krishna have sex with all of those female disciples or students when he's dancing with those gopis? It is your question. Krishna doesn't have a question. This question of sexual intimacy is not even a question. For Krishna, everything is possible. And it's our stupidity to see Krishna into that frame of sexuality, because we are humans and we want to see Krishna through that eye, where he's wrong, where he's right. He was always right. Whoever he touched, whoever he talked to, whoever he spent even a single moment, he was always right. It can be done only by Krishna. When he is so powerful, he holds this power to kill anybody at the very moment when somebody says stupid words, but still he listens. He was possessing this dangerous weapon in his finger, Sudarshan Chakra. He can behead anybody, but he still chooses to play flute, spread love. He has all the luxuries of life, but he still chooses friendship of a poor guy, Sadama. Who can do it? Who's truly in love? Jesus taught love in a different way. Krishna taught love in the purest way, without judgment, without literally thinking what people would say. Oh, Krishna is having sexual affairs, sexual intimacies with so many people. He said, I don't care. He just accepts everybody. It's people who never let Krishna do his thing And some people will comment on this video too, like that. It was Krishna. We think that Krishna was a prince, was a king, and his life was easy. No, his life was not easy at all. His life was very tough. He couldn't trust anybody because people who were his own was trying to kill him. And he still loved them. He still visited them. He still did. He still deliberately would go in that trap, only to see. Who can do that? Pure love, nothing else. And yes, when this divine nature exists, the feminine element gets attracted to it. And this feminine nature, prominent in female bodies, it gets attracted. Only few of them are literally looking out for that pure wisdom. The rest of them are just getting peace. A man cannot do that. It's very hard for a man, because masculinity will not let anybody fall for that trap of, it's a trap for masculinity to fall in love. Trusting somebody with love. Trusting somebody with love is something like you're taking support. And if female is taking support, she is putting her hands on somebody's shoulder, on a man's shoulder. She's graceful. When she is walking alone, she feels pity. Alone. But she still tries to be strong. On the other hand, a man doesn't want to put his hand on somebody's shoulders because it makes him feel weak. And this very weakness of man makes him do certain actions that he wants to preserve his dignity, so-called dignity, and whatever happens, he wouldn't do that. It's a shameful act for a man to put his hands on somebody's shoulder to seek support. And love gives that feeling that you are in support. And it takes a courageous man to take support of love. And the very moment he takes that support, the feminine nature wakes up in him. And that's when slowly Ardhanarishwar, the half feminine and half man's complete stage of Shiva, the complete man stage, could happen in the body. Krishna's ways are unique. His ways are acceptance, with love, with grace. He never, disrespected any woman in his life. His true devotee means not to disrespect any woman at all. His great mantra of life is this: spreading love. Not to look at any woman as an object. He was always so much devoted to gopis. Gopis doesn't mean the females. The gopi element, the feminine nature, even awakened in men also. He was no different with them also. Krishna's ways are divine, so divine that for a normal head it's very impossible. It's very impossible, quite impossible. You have to open up your heart, not your head, to experience Krishna. When Krishna is trying to tell us the story of love, he's not telling us the story, he's living it. and his life itself is all about love. It was his female students, his female disciples that made Krishna what he is. It was Jesus' female students who took him down from the crucifixion, that thing when he was bleeding. Men were coward. They ran away from punishment. Only females were there. I hope this gives certain sense of what are the ways of Krishna. I will not conclude it. But tonight, I will give you a mantra that anybody can practice. It's a very soft and tender mantra. It has no relation with any planet or anything that somebody should avoid it or not. Anybody can practice this. This is for the whole universe. Just sit within yourself, focus on your heart, and chant this mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Tonight, I wish that everybody goes through a wave of love. A wave of love. It's already coming through Krishna. Be in the receptive mode. That will be all for today. I'll see you soon.